Hello and welcome to this brief video prepared for the Centennial celebration of the village of North Chevy Chase located in Montgomery County, Maryland. As many of you know, the village of North Chevy Chase was established 100 years ago in 1924 when it was recognized as a special tax district. Among the 5 residents of North Chevy Chase elected in April 1924 to serve in the first council to manage village affairs was Robert Hardin Simpson, listed here in 1930 census along with his wife, 2 daughters, and son. His residence was 9305 Connecticut Avenue, which is this beautiful home in the village of North Chevy Chase that's now located at 8905 Kensington Parkway. The home hasn't moved. It's just that the house number and the street name have changed since around the 1940s. In this video, my mom is going to share some interesting information on the Simpson family and their role in development of Chevy Chase in Washington, D.C.
As I've done in other videos, I'm going to first orient you to the initial North Chevy Chase neighborhood using 2 maps provided by the Chevy Chase Historical Society in our research of North Chevy Chase. This land was purchased in 1893 by Redford Walker and his son, William Henry Walker, and subdivided into 9 separate blocks in 1897. Let's focus on Block 4, which you can see in this map from 1931, already with some structures built. This block is somewhat of a trapezoid with the following borders: Kensington Parkway, formerly known as Connecticut Avenue, Inverness Drive, Montgomery Avenue, and Kenilworth Drive. We are going to focus specifically on the home located in lot number 6 of Block 4. This beautiful home and its gardens are located at 8905 Kensington Parkway. It was built by the Simpson family after Robert Simpson purchased the lot from William Henry Walker, one of the neighborhood's developers, as you can see in this Washington Post article from April 1912. The home was built quite quickly since Robert Simpson and his family moved in around July 1912. This is what the home looked like just after it was built in 1912. I want to point out the water tower and the home in the background, which is the Lanning home located at 3715 Kenilworth Drive. Their backyards backed up against each other, as you can see in this map. Robert Simpson's daughter, Winifred, grew up at 8905 Kensington Parkway from 1912 until she married in June 1937. She provided a wonderful history of growing up in North Chevy Chase that has been recorded by the Chevy Chase Historical Society and is available online via its archives. Please consider accessing it to learn more about North Chevy Chase directly from an early resident. In her oral history, Winifred Simpson mentioned that the water tower in her backyard furnished water for North Chevy Chase, and her father kept the key to the motor in their kitchen. He was responsible for going to the tower to fix it whenever there were any issues. Before I share more about Robert Simpson and his children, let me tell you a little bit about Robert's father, James Simpson, who immigrated to the U.S. with his parents and siblings in November 1857, arriving by boat, the New World ship that departed from Liverpool. He went on to become an important builder in the Chevy Chase area and, according to his granddaughter Winifred, lived at 3351 Jonesbridge Road, just east of the village of North Chevy Chase. John Simpson and his brother Frank formed a building group called John Simpson Sons, or John Simpson and Sons, and went on to build many homes in the area. They built 8801 Kensington Parkway, as you can see stated in this Washington Post article from January 24th, 1909. They also built One Quincy Street, a stunning home near the Chevy Chase Club, as you can see in this Washington Post article from January 24th, 1909. If you'd like to learn more about this home, consider reading its history, which is available in the Chevy Chase Historical Society archives. John Simpson and Sons also built 3728 Oliver Street, as you can see in this Evening Star article from October 23rd, 1907. In 29 West Kirk Street, which you can see in this image from the Washington Post in January 24th, 1909, and a photo taken this month, April 2024. Construction was a family affair for John Simpson and his brother Frank, working as builders, and Horace Troth, their cousin, who they often had as a painter for their projects, as you can see in this ad in the Washington Herald in August 28, 1915. Frank and Horace were also neighbors and lived in Brookville Road in Chevy Chase, so not too far from North Chevy Chase. I won't list all the homes I found built by John Simpson Sons. I'll just show you these photos instead of a few of the beautiful homes the Simpson brothers built in Chevy Chase in the early 1900s. Now, getting back to Robert Simpson and his family who lived at 8905 Kensington Parkway. Robert did not follow his father's footsteps and instead worked as the assistant manager at the Washington Hydraulic Press Brick Company, which was located in Virginia, where the Pentagon currently is located. In addition to working at the brick company, Robert Simpson was very involved in the early village council efforts, serving in the first council in 1924 and for many years, including as a treasurer. He was friends with David Fairchild, who lived west of Connecticut Avenue in a home located where the Chevy Chase Recreation Association is currently located. David Fairchild was a botanist for the U.S. Department of Agriculture and played a key role in introducing a range of fruits, vegetables, plants, and trees to the U.S., including cherry blossoms, which now decorate so many neighborhoods across the D.C. area. If you are interested in learning more about David Fairchild and how he influenced American food, consider reading this recently published book by Daniel Stone, The Food Explorer. According to Winifred, Robert's daughter, David Fairchild would often gift plants to her father to plant in their garden. 8905 Kensington Parkway has a lovely garden, and we can only wonder if any of the plants or trees growing today were gifted by David Fairchild to Robert Simpson. David Fairchild's wife was also very close with the women of North Chevy Chase, as you can see in this Baltimore Sun article from July 16, 1917, noting their efforts in purchasing a hospital ambulance for the 1st Maryland Infantry during World War I. During World War I and World War II, eligible adult males of North Chevy Chase registered for the draft, including Robert Simpson, as you can see here with both registration cards. John Gilliland Simpson, Robert Simpson's only son, first worked as a messenger at the FBI before joining the Air Corps, which was the aerial warfare service of the U.S. Army from 1926 to 1941. John Simpson joined the Air Corps in 1938, completed his training, and became a commanding officer of the training squadron based in New Mexico, as you can see in this article in the Evening Star from March 30th, 1942. He served as a colonel on the 451st Bomber Squadron during World War II and died on July 20th, the day after his plane was shot down by anti-aircraft fire. He was awarded the Silver Star for Valor in Combat, an Air Medal with 6 oak leaf clusters for acts of heroism or meritorious achievement while participating in aerial flight, and a Purple Heart with 1 oak leaf cluster for being killed in action against an enemy of the United States. John Gilliland Simpson is buried in the Brittany American Cemetery in Normandy, France. His son, who was 4 when his father John was killed, followed his father's footsteps and became a pilot, but in the Air Force. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the Simpson family and their important role in Chevy Chase development, Robert Simpson and his role on the Village Council in its early years, and his son, John Gilliland Simpson, who bravely served during World War II. There are still so many wonderful stories about the Simpson family that I hope you will enjoy by accessing the oral history given by Winifred Simpson Dynes, available on the Chevy Chase Historical Society online archives. She shares some great stories about the Kensington trolley that used to run down Kensington Parkway, the horse that her brother John purchased, and her aunt who lived just down the street at what is now known as 8808 Kensington Parkway. If you recall, John's middle name was Gilliland, which was his mother's maiden name. His aunts, Laura and Elizabeth Gilliland, lived at 8808 Kensington Parkway, and you can hear more about them and their life in North Chevy Chase in a short video prepared for them for the Centennial celebration. We hope you enjoyed these videos prepared for the Centennial celebration to learn more about the village of North Chevy Chase and its history from the early 1900s to today, 2024.